Hello, today I'm going to show how you can create an inbound delivery using IDocs. This typically scenario happens when you have an ASN from your vendor and you want to create an inbound delivery based on that. Very often you don't have an integration setup and you need to start testing in your development system by scratch. And it's very handy for a functional consultant to set up this yourself and do it by substandard instead of we have some developers who develop a little bit too much in the IDoc. So here we go. We are going to use the standard test transaction WE19 to create this IDoc. I'm going to use the basic type DELVRY03. For this one, it's recommended by SAP and they got the most functionality. So if I choose the basic type, that will be very good. Here we go. The first we need to set up is actually the sender and receiver. To get on to do this, you need to set this also in WE20 to set up the right ports. You should get them off your basis teams. So I just go on and use my pre-setup ones for these tests. You can always look into the other IDoc what exists in the system. Very on. Here we are going to specify the message type DESADV for inbound ASN. If you don't have the ports, this one fails for you. The trick is that you can, instead of using standard inbound, use the inbound function module. That bypasses all this port setup, so you won't get that either. In addition, you can also do it or call it in debug mode if you're going to debug this one. Do remember to use the function module, which is IDoc underscore input underscore DESADV1. If you use the standard delivery message type, then the function module is IDoc input delivery. Well, I won't do that this time. I will use my standard setup. But also, I have pre-prepared in order to create an inbound delivery. You do need, of course, a purchase order. So I am going to have a look on my purchase order, and this is this number. And also very important on the purchase order is that you under confirmations have set confirmation control for inbound delivery. There might be created set ones, but anyone, this is the standard delivery by SAP, and no inbound delivery can be created for the purchase order without this allow it by the confirmation control. So I copy my purchase order, which I have 2 lines with 2 materials, 10 packages each for these 2 materials. Important to remember. Back to my IDoc. In the first segment, the only thing we care about here is actually the IDoc number. The rest, it basically picks up from the purchase order itself. Here we got a lot of segments. We really don't need to fill them out. Of course, they can be useful for something, but for this example, we're going to make it simple. Then, here's the important. It's the qualifier in the segment E1 EDL 18. And for inbound delivery, it's the qualifier ORI for original we want to use. In addition, I can cut and paste the segment. I do want to paste the segment at the same level. And I'll go in again and I will add, you can also press F4, you can see your options. I also use the CWV for transfer gross weight. I usually do that one because sometimes you want to transfer all the gross weight and so on, and anyway it doesn't do anything wrong with the qualifiers here. ORI is original for the first message to be sent. Then there's a lot of segments here. This is not important, but you do have to fill in the 13th segment with 007. You can look in there and you see that's for the outbound or a delivery. It says our inbound delivery version, but that won't work. You have to use 007. However, you can just leave the rest blank. Try to fill in some dates, but the delivery, mostly inbound delivery, will ignore it. So remember, only 007. Of course, you can play with it and see and put in dates according to your needs in your organization. However, you need the 007. Then we can skip the rest of all the segments and go to the important, the 24 segment. Here's what you got the items in. And here you start referring the items in your purchase order. So I'll start with the first segment. Well, first position, which is the 10. Remember, SAP already knows the purchase order number, so here we just refer the segment numbers, not the line numbers. So here we go. We put in my material, which was 15.99. The rest we can skip. Down there, wax, everything here. It picks off the purchase order. However, here comes the good part. How many pieces did we had? We had 10. And here is also the important, what unit of measure it is. I had pack. However, as you see in the purchase order, it says pack here. But in the IDoc, and this is important, it uses the standard ALE type definition. So pack is actually on that language PK. You can look up the settings in the general settings in IMG, where you can find for each unit of measure what the ALE and EDI unit of measure will be. Anyway, for pack, the EDI unit of measures is PK. And basically that is what we need. If you want to use base unit of measure, you can use LMGD and mines, then you can send it in base unit of measure. I, however, do it here in the sales unit of measure. Boom. There we go. I'm my first material. And then we have some more interesting fields on there. Most we can skip, but the important one is the 41. The 41 is the reference again. So here you can see I do want to have the qualifier, which is the purchase order date of the customer. So I will fill in the purchase order number, and this is the reference who will show up on your purchase order when the inbound delivery is booked. And here we need to reference down to the position again for the material. Remember, we are still on the first position. So here we go. Then I got that one. Now I'm a little bit lazy, so I simply take out 2 lines. So I simply copy the segment, paste it again at the same level. I have a new segment. So I can just then change, and do remember to change the position. 20, the material 1878. I had 10 packs here, so this is the same, 10 pack. And then I need to go down to my line for my reference. Of course, it will be position 20, the other material referencing. For this material, I'm going to create 2 handling units for the 2 materials, and that is segment 37 down here. This is when things is starting to get hairy. On the top here is very, very easy. It will book now if you post it, but it won't create any handling units for your material. I do want to mention, if you operate with batch, you need to fill in the charge segment. However, I'm not dealing with batch materials here. That's add another layer of complexity to you. Okay, here we go for the handling unit. The first, I'm going to create a handling unit itself. XEDV is actually the handling unit number. We are now getting that number from, since an external vendor, he would have created handling unit number, and I'm going to use the SSCC18 standard numbers. So I need to find a number myself, and you need to find the correct one, because SAP will check it. If you use a duplicate, it will fail in the creation. Luckily, I have the numbers from our vendor, and I use GS1 as a calculator. And here, this is the prefix of our vendor, and here is just the number range behind me here. So I will simply take that as the previous number, and then go one up to 68, press calculate, and I will copy this key into my handling unit number. Down here you have a lot of fields including net weight and everything, but I'm not going to care with them. What's important here when we get onto V-heart, that is for your packaging material. You do need to have create a packaging material which is usable. It might be a box, a pallet, or whatever. However, my packing material type, it's called Z001. And also the packing material group is called ZSTD in this case. You will probably create your own one, but these two is important. And here goes a bit further down, we are going to have VLTP. That's important. In here we're going to say what it is. The C, this one is going to be a C for a packaging material. It's the box I'm going to create. And down here is important. This is the packaging material itself. It's called, I have called it pack 41. As I said, it's the packaging material and not this one. Then you need to further go. Again, there's a lot of fields you could fill out, but what's important for us yourself is this one, EXIDA. And here we need to go in and put, since we had done SSCC18 from the vendor, I'm going to choose H. If you were to send an outbound, you could choose C, and then SAP will generate it for you for internal, with your internal number range. Or D, if you have a robot who is going to package for you and create for your external number range in SAP, you can use D to have SAP to check that number range from your robot. Anyway, but that doesn't make sense when you do an inbound delivery. You won't create your own handling units for inbound delivery. So H it is for us here. There we go. Then we have created the handling unit itself. And now we are going to pack it. And that is segment 44 for the packing. First, you need a reference. What is a reference? We're going to reference from the material item further up in IDoc. So it's going to be a 1. This one VBEL doesn't use, but this is important. I'm now going to pack the material from line 10. And here what I'm going to pack it in, I'm going to pack it in my box here. So I'm going to copy the handling unit number down here. And okay, and how many are going to pack? And again, this is important, this is tricky. Here, you're not using the sales unit to measure. It only takes the base unit to measure. So I need to go to my purchase order, and then I go to see to my material. Here, actually 10 pack is like 50 pieces for me. So back again, I'm going to pack 13 each one. And the standard EDI type is for my pieces is EA for each. Don't ask me why, but this is what it demands. And here, another trip up. Here it won't accept 1599, it will fail. It will only accept with all the leading zeros. So this mat number has to be 18 digit here. Or else there's you will fail for this one. Okay, the rest I don't fill out. This you don't need, just for my simple tester. So here we go. That I packed one article from the first line. However, I'm going to pack another material too. So I do copy, paste, same level. And for this one, I'm going to pack for line 20. Same box, but for this I'm going to pack 15 eaches, and the material was 1878. I'm going to pack there. Click. So now I packed one box. I'm going to pack another box too. Again, I just help myself. I copy, paste at the same level, and have a new segment. This is a new box. So now I need a new handling unit number. I just add one, get the check digit. If you want to check what kind of handling unit number has been used, you can go to table VECP WEKP and you will find the numbers there, so you can see you haven't trying to use someone who already has been used. The rest is the same on this line. So I copy it in. I take line number, the first packing. I had 50, packed 30, so I got 20 left. And it's position number 10, but it's a different material. No, it's not, it's the same material. There, line 20. I will have a new was that my handling unit number? Yes, it was. That one in, same material, 15 each. That was 30 for this one. I go on, let me check. I forgot to put the handling unit number and new one on this line. If you fail at one of these, you will get added in packaging data, and then you know it's your 37 segments with the underlying segments who is going to be wrong. If you all get stuck, delete the 37 segments, book the 24 without handling units, see at their booking, and then go on trying to use 37 and add them up later. Okay, let's go. Now we'll see how my test is going to fare here. So I'm using the standard inbound in this time. If you want to debug, as I said, then you can use the inbound function module. Or if your ports and your logical systems isn't set up correctly, you can use this one. Here you can see I got green for partner profile found. The systems looks all go, and here it picks the function module, and we go. Okay, looks fairly good. Let me go and see what I have here. I've been doing some tests. And we have a green. Yay! Here we go. Inbound delivery has been created. We can go then to my look at inbound delivery. We can see here it's all created. We go to the handling unit overview. Here you can see. Here are the handling units with the lines for each packaging material under. Here is the materials, here is the packing material, and it's all nice and shiny. It's all beautiful. It isn't that difficult when you tried 100 times. Then let's go to the purchase order. When I find it, I have a lot here. Here it is. Now you can see under confirmations that here you can see we have the delivery date of tomorrow has been coming in. That is just pick up from the purchase order itself. And here you can see the inbound delivery, and here's the reference. If you miss the 41 segment under the 24 segment, this one will be wrong for you. So if you miss that reference, you probably won't come up in anything. That's one of the causes of error. But here we are. This one looks good. Okay, and for I can show you also, just for fun, how you can actually use generating your own handling units numbers. I can use the same delivery. It doesn't really make any sense to do it inbound yourself, but I can show it anyway, so you can replicate it on the outbound. have the same IDoc. What you need to do then to create by the for the internal series is that you go here. Then for the handling unit number, you just put 1 for your first box. Then you leave the rest down here the same. VLTP-C is the same. However, this one you will change then to using C. Then you will create the internal for that one. And then you need to go further down here, away with this one too. We're going to pack it in box 1, so you switch this to 1. You pack this one in the first box 2, so it's 2. Then to my second box. My second box gets number 2. That's why you have to very often to create with 2 materials and 2 boxes, because then you can see the logic in it. I need to go down here, change from C, change to C, of course. Again, pack first line, box number 2, pack the second line, box number 2. There we go. If you wonder for the number series, you can look up in SNUM. And for the SSC, it's the number series LE_SSCC, and you can see the number in the ranges. Here is for the internal one. This is the internal I pick from now, this series. And do remember, for the GS1 series, there's always a prefix on about 5 numbers who is given. That is configured somewhere else. I won't show that configuration now, but you do. And here is the external number range. If you use D in the IDoc, it will then check that you is within this range plus the prefix of this one. Okay, back to this one. Now I set up this one to 2. So now I should create internal numbers. Notice that I didn't change the purchase order. It will accept to create many deliveries, so you don't need to create deliveries a new purchase order for each time. You can use the same to create a lot of inbound on it just for testing. Also, if you want to test a lot of fields, you very often want to use of your internal number range, so you don't need to go and find up a new handling unit number external each time. You just let the system generate it for you by the way I'm doing now. Okay, here we go. We run this again and 07. Let's see what it says. And you can see here now this one come out with a yellow. If you do a second inbound delivery on the same purchase order, it will always be yellow for you. However, here it's created. Let me go to the purchase order. You now see second line is shown up with 108 here. You can also go into the delivery, and you can see here it uses different, you can see the prefix is different now on my handling unit, because this is my company's prefix for handling units from GS41. Else it's functioning the same way. If I go into the number intervals, they should have been updated, but oh yeah, it's deleting of the series. It will obviously do cache them. So here we go. Okay, I hope this little tutorial was informative, and I hope it saves you a few hours on trying to figure this one out yourself. Thank you from me, and hope you enjoyed it.